A chilling silence has swept across the world of hip-hop and reality television. A silence that carries the weight of heartbreak, confusion, and a devastating truth. For years, the love story between Remy Ma and Papoose stood as a beacon of loyalty, resilience, and unshakable partnership in an industry often riddled with betrayal and scandal. Fans saw them not just as a couple, but as a symbol, two people who weathered prison time, career obstacles, and personal struggles while keeping their bond seemingly unbreakable. But now, that very foundation has begun to tremble. What started as whispers has spiraled into a storm, and at the center of it all is a health crisis, a confession, and the emotional unraveling of one of hip-hop's most revered relationships. The first sign that something was wrong didn't come through tabloids or explosive interviews. It came from Remy Ma herself. In a single Instagram post, Remy shared a haunting black and white photo of herself in what appeared to be a hospital gown. No elaborate caption, no explanation. Just 3 words: pray for me. The internet erupted instantly. Fans, followers, and industry insiders flooded the comments with questions, support, and speculation. Was it exhaustion? A hidden injury? A relapse? No one knew for sure. But one thing was clear: this wasn't just a regular update. Something was deeply, disturbingly wrong. And even more troubling was Papoose's absence. The man known for standing 10 toes down for his queen was suddenly silent, missing from public view. For weeks, the public was left in a fog of uncertainty. Remy canceled appearances, skipped interviews, and posted little to nothing. Meanwhile, rumors began to circulate. Some claimed she was battling an illness. Others suggested she and Papoose were facing marital troubles. But behind the scenes, away from the cameras and flashing lights, a much darker, far more painful reality was unfolding. A reality neither of them had been prepared for. According to sources close to the family, Remy Ma had been privately battling symptoms of a serious illness for months: fatigue, severe muscle pain, dizzy spells, memory lapses, even blackouts. At first, she brushed it off as exhaustion. She had been juggling music, television appearances, and motherhood. But as her health deteriorated, it became clear that this was something more. After collapsing at home, she was rushed to a private clinic in the Bronx. And it was there that doctors finally gave her the devastating diagnosis: lupus, an autoimmune disease that causes the body's immune system to attack its own tissues and organs. For Remy, the disease was already aggressively impacting her kidneys and lungs. The doctors didn't sugarcoat it. She needed to begin treatment immediately. The news shattered her. But it wasn't just her life that would change forever, it was Papoose's too. In an exclusive interview that quickly went viral, Papoose opened up like never before. He appeared visibly thinner, tired, his voice quivering with emotion as he spoke. "I thought I was prepared for anything," he began. "Prison didn't break us. The industry couldn't break us. But this, watching the person I love fade in front of me, nothing prepares you for that." It was the first time fans had ever seen him like this: raw, vulnerable, broken. He continued, recounting sleepless nights and terrifying episodes where he would wake up in the middle of the night just to make sure Remy was still breathing. "I had to cancel shows, studio sessions, even family events," he said. "My whole life just stopped." But the most gut-wrenching part of the interview wasn't the diagnosis. It was Papoose's emotional confession. For years, he had been the strong one, the unwavering supporter, the rock. But even rocks wear down. He admitted that behind closed doors, he was crumbling. "People look at us like we're bulletproof," he said. "But I've cried alone. I've screamed into pillows. I've questioned everything: my strength, my purpose, my faith." The weight of watching Remy suffer, combined with the responsibility of holding the family together, had pushed him to a dark place. A place he never thought he'd see. And then came the confession that truly shook the hip-hop community. During Remy's most critical period, as her condition worsened and treatment became more aggressive, Papoose admitted that he had a moment of weakness, a moment where he nearly walked away. "It sounds horrible," he said, wiping away tears. "But I sat in my car one night and thought about disappearing. Just driving away. Not because I didn't love her, but because I felt helpless, hopeless. I wasn't sure I could keep being strong. For her, for our daughter, for myself." That admission cracked the image of their perfect union wide open. For the first time, fans saw the human side of Papoose, not just the supportive husband, but the exhausted, scared man who was watching his world fall apart. He recounted a particularly harrowing night when Remy looked at him and whispered, "If I don't make it, Promise me you'll raise our daughter to be a warrior like me." That, he said, was the moment his heart shattered. Their daughter, little Reminisce, was too young to understand the full gravity of what was happening. But children sense things. She noticed the quiet replacing music in their home. She noticed the tears, the hospital visits, the fatigue in her mother's eyes. And it was in those moments that Papoose realized the fight wasn't just about keeping Remy alive, it was about keeping their family together. The emotional weight grew heavier with each day. Papoose became the caretaker, the provider, the protector, and the emotional anchor, all while fighting off his own creeping depression and feelings of isolation. What fans saw on social media, a few smiling photos, occasional posts, was a facade. "I smiled online," Papoose said, "but I cried myself to sleep. I kept up appearances, but inside, I was falling apart." He started researching holistic treatments, changed Remy's diet to include anti-inflammatory foods, and created a regimen to support her health in every way he could. He cut ties with projects, postponed business ventures, and even stepped away from the studio. His sole focus became Remy's survival. And then came another twist. Family secrets began to surface. Papoose revealed that the stress of Remy's illness forced him to confront unresolved pain from his own past. Traumas he had buried long ago. Tensions with extended family members began to rise as medical decisions, finances, and private matters caused friction. The pressure was unbearable. At one point, a disagreement with a close family member nearly led to a permanent rift. Yet another emotional blow while he was already on his knees. Still, Papoose clung to the hope that Remy would recover. He spoke about her strength with reverence. "She's the strongest person I know," he said. "She didn't let prison break her. She didn't let the streets break her. But now, her own body is trying to break her. And she's still fighting." He praised her courage through chemotherapy, her refusal to give up, her quiet strength in moments where even standing up felt like a battle. As for Remy, though she has yet to speak fully about her diagnosis publicly, insiders say she's determined to share her story in due time. For now, she's focused on healing, both physically and emotionally. She's begun treatment, surrounded by a small circle of loved ones, and remains hopeful despite the challenges ahead. The outpouring of support from fans has been enormous. Hashtags like #PrayForRemy Ma and #WestEndWithPapoose have flooded social media. Fellow artists, including Fat Joe, Cardi B, and others who've worked closely with Remy, have offered words of encouragement and love. But perhaps the most powerful response has come from ordinary fans, people who see in Remy and Papoose a reflection of their own battles, their own relationships, their own fears. This story is still unfolding. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is undeniable. The strength, honesty, and love that Remy Ma and Papoose continue to show, despite everything, is a testament to the power of vulnerability in a world that often demands perfection. They've reminded us that even the strongest people can break. That love isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's quiet, painful, and worth fighting for. As we watch this couple navigate the most painful chapter of their lives, we are reminded that behind every public figure is a private world filled with struggles we may never fully understand. Remy Ma is not just a rapper. Papoose is not just a husband. They are humans, fighters, survivors. And this is not the end of their story. If this story moved you, take a moment to leave a prayer, a word of encouragement, or a memory of how Remy and Pap inspired you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for updates as their journey continues. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and remember, even warriors need rest.